Good evening. Welcome to Emo Nightly News, every moment online. In tonight's news headlines, another suspect arrested in Jabaya Paul's murder investigation. Electoral office begins distribution of new voter ID cards. Businessman urges voters to confirm registration and ensure approval. Dominica launches Whistle Education Project. Fishermen floating in cooler rescued after 5 days stranded at sea. And Mao soccer strikers cruise past Bath Estate 3-0 as challenger strikes twice. Details of these stories and more coming up next. Stay with us.
Boy. Let me call Serena to find out if lights go by them.
Hey,
Yo, what's up?
quite good.
You good? Though I'm annoyed. Lights will go by you then.
Let's go. I wouldn't know. I on solar, you know.
What? You serious? When that happened there?
Yes, I got the alternative energy loan from NCCU.
Wow.
Yeah, you should look into that.
Yeah, I will. I'll check it out.
Yeah. All right, I gotta charge my phone.
Okay, do your thing. And look, my phone dying, you know. Share the phone die.
Welcome back. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and this is the news broadcast for the 21st of August, 2026. In local news this evening, police have confirmed that an adult woman from Marigot was arrested on Thursday, August 20, 2026, on suspicion of attempting to pervert the course of justice in connection with the murder investigation involving Jabia Paul. Investigations into the matter are continuing. The Electoral Office has begun distributing newly printed voter identification cards, starting with Roseau North and now moving to Roseau Central and Roseau South.
The card is a very important document and must be kept in a safe place and must be kept for 10 years, a 10-year period, until it expires.
The announcement was made at a recently held press briefing where the office also addressed public concerns about duplicate entries appearing on the revised adopted list of 2025.
The issuance of duplicate entries on the revised adopted list of 2025 has been a matter of public concern and discussion. It is important, however, to understand the purpose of the confirmation exercise within a broader process of maintaining and updating the voters list. The confirmation period was established to provide electors with an opportunity to verify the registration and confirm that information recorded in respect of them is accurate and current. The Electoral Office has consistently recognized the importance of having a clean, accurate, credible, and reliable voters list. Achieving this requires not only the work of the Electoral Office, but also active participation of registered electors.
The Electoral Office is therefore urging registered voters who have not yet completed the confirmation process to do so. The current confirmation period is scheduled to end on October 14, 2026. As of the latest update, 24,242 people have applied for confirmation, with 20,455 approved. For new registration, 1,999 people have applied, with 1,728 people approved for registration. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission is clarifying changes to the electoral process ahead of the Roseau North by-election, particularly regarding recently registered electors and identification requirements. The Commission says the amendments are intended to ensure eligible voters are not excluded from the process. The Electoral Commission is reminding voters in Roseau North of important changes to the electoral process ahead of the constituency's upcoming by-election. The by-election is scheduled for Monday, September 7, 2026, following the resignation of former parliamentary representative Miriam Blanchard. The Commission says one significant change concerns persons who registered during the period leading up to an election.
Previously, a person who registered at the last supplementary, after the last supplementary list was published, but before the writ was issued, could have been excluded from voting. The Commission considered that that situation was unfair, and the Parliament therefore made an amendment to the Act. The position is now clear. A person who was registered up to the date on which the writ was issued is entitled to vote at the upcoming election. It is important to note that the upcoming by-election will include the adopted list, the confirmation list, the revised supplementary list, and the list of persons registered between the publication of the revised supplementary list and the issue of the writ.
Changes have also been made to identification requirements. The Commission says the amendments were necessary because some electors who are legally entitled to vote may not yet have received voter identification cards.
If you are an elector at the upcoming by-election, you must establish your identity in order to vote. Where an elector does not have a voter ID card, the elector must be required to take a prescribed oath and produce one of the following forms of identification: a valid Dominican passport or a Dominican driver's license valid, and a Dominican birth certificate, of course, valid, a valid social security card issued by the Dominican Social Security, and a birth certificate or a Dominican birth certificate and a passport-sized photo certified by a Justice of the Peace, Commissioner of Oath, or notary public to be a true photograph of the elector.
This also applies to Commonwealth citizens. The Commission says the changes are intended to ensure that eligible electors can exercise their right to vote while maintaining the integrity of the electoral process. It is encouraging eligible persons who have not yet registered to do so, while those who have not yet been confirmed are being urged to complete the confirmation process before it closes. The Commission says despite the challenges associated with the electoral process, it remains committed to ensuring that the Roseau North by-election is conducted fairly and in accordance with the law. In related news, nomination day for the Roseau North constituency by-election was held earlier today, Friday, August 21st. The candidates contesting the Roseau North by-election include Daniel Luge for the UWP, Ashman McDougall for the DLP, and independent candidate Sherman Boston. The Electoral Office had invited eligible electors in the Roseau North constituency to participate in the by-election nomination process ahead of the poll. The Roseau North by-election will now move to the next stage of the electoral process, with voters awaiting further information from the Electoral Office on the candidates and the date of polling. Members of the public seeking additional information were advised to contact the Electoral Office. The government of Dominica, through the Ministry of Education, today officially launched the Windward Island Sector Transformation for Learning Enhancement, or WISE project, aimed at strengthening the country's education sector. The launch took place this morning, Friday, August 21, at the waterfront room of the Fort Young Hotel in Roseau. The initiative is being undertaken in partnership with the Global Partnership for Education and the World Bank. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Robert Geist, delivered remarks on behalf of the Ministry of Education, highlighting the significance of the initiative to Dominica's education system.
When we invest in education, we are not simply spending money on schools. We are investing in human capital. We are investing in innovation. We are investing in productivity, entrepreneurship, resilience, and the capacity of our young people to participate meaningfully in the economy that we are building. Only a few weeks ago, the government presented the 2026-2027 national budget, which sets our priorities for the next phase of Dominica's development. And at the heart of that budget was the understanding that national development must ultimately improve the lives and prospects of our young people. The budget's investment in infrastructure, economic transformation, renewable energy, digital development, and human capital must be supported by an education system capable of producing the skills required to make these investments successful. WISE is therefore not a standalone project. It is part of a much larger national development picture. When our government invests in the digital economy, WISE helps to ensure that our young people have the digital competencies to participate. As Dominica continues its transformation into a more resilient, sustainable, and diversified economy, our education system must prepare the young people to participate in and lead that transformation.
WISE Project Dominica Coordinator, Wifali Jules, provided an overview of the project and its objectives.
Implementation of the lower secondary curriculum, and under this we will have training and support for implementation of lower secondary curriculum and assessment framework, development and delivery of specialized training programs for teachers and education officers in TVET and SEN, digitalization of the curriculum, teaching and learning materials, including multimedia tools, resource books, electronic devices, and specific resources for TVET and special education, and measurement of teachers' practices before and after the rollout of the new curriculum using Teach Secondary digital tools. Technical assistance to develop an OCS SEN assessment tool and a specialized SEN teacher certificate program made available to all 4 countries. And the next component is management, monitoring, and evaluation. And under this you have the PIU staff, Project Implementation Unit. We have already set up the PIU, and yours truly as the project coordinator. We will soon get our admin, and we have our support staff.
The ceremony also heard virtually from Mohamed Yassin, Caribbean Engagement Lead for the Global Partnership of Education.
In that we strengthen partnership and we work together, not only between the countries themselves, so the countries of the OECS, regional collaboration between the countries, but also with partnerships. So we work with our development partners, in this particular case with the World Bank and with others, to kind of build a coalition around support for education. And that coalition supports the government priority. And in this case, the government has selected the curriculum reform at the lower secondary education level, and the priority reform ongoing now. So this program is supporting that reform. It comes at a great time, just 2 months ago in June, we have celebrated and closed the achievements of the OECS Pearl program, which was a regional initiative financed by GDP at $10 million program. And part of the program, all the OTS countries work together on a digital harmonized curriculum for primary education. The work also included support in early childhood education, but then also the primary education curriculum. And so now the work on lower secondary really comes to continue that journey in the curriculum reform journey.
Dennis Stolt, task team lead for WISA at the World Bank, also addressed participants virtually on the partnership and implementation of the initiative.
Dominica will develop a lower secondary curriculum that is broader, more inclusive, and more closely connected to the realities students face today and the opportunities that they will pursue tomorrow. And also, as briefly mentioned, the reform is expected to benefit approximately 3,000 lower secondary students annually, included an estimated 300 plus students with special educational needs, and it will also train around 500 education officers and staff in the content and delivery of the new curriculum, with selected teachers and education officers receiving specialized training in TEDA and in inclusive education. Today's launch is the result of sustained effort, thoughtful design, and close collaboration. And considerable work has gone into shaping a project that is ambitious but practical, rooted in the national priorities and focus on reforms that can be translated into stronger classroom practice. A distinctive feature of Dominica's reform in Whistle is the integration of TVETs, like my colleague Mohammed mentioned, and the life skills, technology, the arts, the resilience education into lower secondary education. And by strengthening these areas, the project can really help students to see a clear link between what they learn in school and the opportunities available in their communities, the labor market, and really in the wider world. And also, the project is supporting students with special needs, and Whistle reinforces a fundamental principle that quality education must be inclusive education. And every learner deserves the chance to participate meaningfully, receive appropriate support, and develop their full potential.
The program also included entertainment by students of the Sir Arthur Waldron SDA and a vote of thanks by Senior Education Officer for Secondary Schools, Queen Thomas. The WISA project forms part of ongoing efforts to enhance learning, strengthen education delivery, and improve outcomes for students in Dominica. Dominica is strengthening its commitment to climate resilient and sustainable agriculture through the Triangular Cooperation Project, managing water and soil resources for sustainable agriculture in the Caribbean region. Supported by German Development Cooperation and implemented in collaboration with Latin American and Caribbean partners, the project promotes improved water management, soil conservation, and soil fertility. The Division of Agriculture, Dominica's focal point for the initiative, is developing an integrated soil conservation and soil fertility improvement demonstration project for local farmers. The project will provide farmer training and promote sustainable farming methods, improved soil fertility management, and effective erosion control measures. As part of the project's final technical mission, experts from Argentina's National Institute of Agricultural Technology visited Dominica from August 12 to 14, 2026 to share practical approaches to sustainable soil health management. The Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club, DYEC, is inviting the public to support some of the island's emerging young talent at its Talent Hunt 2026, set for Saturday, August 22. The event gets underway from 5 p.m. at the factory on Valley Road in Roseau and will feature music, dance, comedy, and other forms of entertainment. Young contestants will take to the stage to showcase their skills, creativity, and aspirations following weeks of preparation. Organizers say the talent hunt goes beyond entertainment and is intended to provide young people with a platform to be seen, heard, and encouraged to develop their potential.
Hi, the Dominica Young Entrepreneurs Club is set to host one of the most exciting events in Dominica, and it's going to be held this Saturday at the factory from 5 p.m. This event is called the DYEC Talent Hunt, and it's a showcase of talent in Dominica. We have categories in music, dance, and comedy. There will be prizes and surprises and entertainment for you and your family. So come out, be there at this DYEC Talent Hunt. By attending the DYEC Talent Hunt, you are not only coming for entertainment, but you are supporting a cause. DYEC Talent Hunt, be there.
The event being held under the guiding principle, "The youth is our greatest investment," will also feature special guest performances, including the Cicero Singers, along with a panel of judges. Talent Hunt 2026 is also a fundraising initiative to support DYEC's programs in mentorship, training, entrepreneurial development, and psychosocial support for young people, including youth at risk. Tickets cost $45 for adults and $25 for children under 13. The DYEC is encouraging the public to come out in large numbers to support the talent, the cause, and Dominica's youth. Jolly's Pharmacy has officially welcomed the Combined Taxi Association as its newest community partner. The partnership was formalized with the signing of a contract, followed by the presentation of branded T-shirts to members of the association. Jolly's Pharmacy says it looks forward to strengthening its relationship with the association and creating meaningful opportunities through the new collaboration. The Discover Dominica Authority is taking its destination and festival promotion to St. Kitts and Nevis from today, August 21 to 26, as part of efforts to increase regional travel to Dominica and promote the island's major festivals. The campaign will place particular focus on the World Creole Music Festival, scheduled for October 23 to 25, 2026, as well as Mass Dominic, which culminates on February 8 and 9, 2027. Activities will include public pop-up events, World Creole Music Festival ticket giveaways, radio and television interviews, participation in an American Society of Travel Advisors event, and a Dominica Destination and Festivals cocktail. Monel Alexis, Communications and Public Relations Specialist at the Discover Dominica Authority, summarizes the objectives and activities planned for the promotion.
Discover Dominica Authority is in St. Kitts and Nevis from October 21st to the 26th for a destination and a festival promotion focused on increasing awareness of Dominica and encouraging travel to the nature island. While there, we're participating in ASTA, engaging the travel trade, conducting radio and television interviews, and hosting a destination cocktail event on Monday the 24th. We also want to connect directly with the public. This Friday, join us at No Rush Bar in Basse-Terre from 6 to 7 p.m., Chill Bar in Nevis from 8:30 to 9:30 p.m., and Vibes Beach Bar and Grill in Frigate Bay from midnight to 1 a.m. Benji of TK International and St. Kitts and Nevis's own DJ Tero, both part of this year's World Creole Music Festival lineup, will be joining us, and patrons will have opportunities to win tickets to the World Creole Music Festival. So come meet the Dominica team, start planning your trip to the Nature Island for the World Creole Music Festival, taking place October 23rd to the 25th.
DDA will also host a destination and festivals cocktail at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort on Monday, August 24, bringing together travel advisors, tour operators, media representatives, influencers, and tourism partners. The authority says the promotion forms part of its ongoing strategy to strengthen relationships within regional markets and generate increased demand for travel to Dominica. Finally, in local news this evening, businessman Gregor Nassif is urging eligible Dominicans to confirm their registration, register to vote, and follow up on their applications, following what he describes as troubling revelations at Thursday's press conference by the Electoral Commission and Electoral Office. Mr. Nassif says more than 2,000 applications remained unapproved at the time of the briefing. He says the lack of a guarantee that applications submitted before the deadline will be approved in time should serve as a warning to voters. Nassif also points to reported errors, including a deceased elector appearing on a confirmation list, duplicate entries attributed to software glitches, addresses omitted from published lists, and an election form carrying the incorrect candidate deposit. The businessman is also questioning aspects of the newly electoral system, including the late distribution of voter identification cards, the processing of transfers, and the need for legislative amendments to address registration and identification issues ahead of the Roseau North by-election. He is calling on the Electoral Commission to immediately assess whether the October 14 confirmation deadline should be extended, while urging citizens not to depend on an extension. His message to voters is simple: confirm now, register now, follow up now, make sure you are approved. And that's all for local news this evening. Stay tuned for regional news coming up next.
Tico, that's $800. Cash or card?
When cash is low, Tico is still ready.
Always card, Chalo. Would you like a copy of the receipt?
No, Chalo. NBD already sent me the alert and I'll see it on Mo Banking later. That is it. From card to farm. Power your business with the NBD Small Business Credit Card. Your partner, your bank.
3 people have been arrested following a major security operation in Basse-Terre, Guadeloupe on Wednesday, August 19. The operation was carried out under the Departmental Action Plan for the Restoration of Daily Security at the request for the public prosecutor and under the authority of the prefect. Several law enforcement units took part, including the Intervention Brigade, Anti-Crime Brigade, Border Police, a canine unit, and municipal police. The operation targeted drug trafficking, illegal weapons, theft, and robbery. Authorities say officers conducted checks, patrols, searches, and targeted interventions, discovering narcotics and a weapon. Officials say similar operations will continue as part of efforts to combat crime and improve public safety. The Ministry of Tourism in St. Lucia has embarked on a new blue economy project aimed at establishing an underwater sculpture dive park in Dominica. The initiative is expected to combine the island's history and cultural heritage with its marine tourism product, creating a new underwater attraction for residents and visitors. As part of the development of the project, the ministry will host a national exhibition on August 29 and 30, providing the public with an opportunity to learn more about the initiative and explore aspects of Dominica's history. The exhibition will run from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on both days, with admission free of charge. The proposed underwater sculpture dive park forms part of efforts to further develop Dominica's blue economy and diversify the island's tourism offerings. And that's all for regional news this evening. Stay tuned for international news coming up next.
Blast Gaming presents its biggest job whatever. Blast Mystery Progressive. I'm so excited. I can't hide it. The new Blast Jackpot rising. And I like it. It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up, and up, and up, and up.
Play selected games to win in the Blast Mystery Progressive. Pick until you match 3 gems and win one of the 5 cash jackpots. Or you can blast up with the Mystery Progressive jackpot.
Going up, and up, and up, and up, and up, blast up, and up, and up. Blast gaming.
And now for international news. 2 Mexican fishermen have been rescued after spending 5 days stranded at sea without food or water inside a large fishing cooler. The men, aged 53 and 32, went missing after losing contact with their fishing cooperative on August 14. They were found about 150 miles off the coast of Chiapas after an extensive search by aircraft and vessels. The fishermen were airlifted to safety and treated before being reunited with their families. Authorities have not yet indicated what happened to their vessel. 8 people are dead after a charter plane crashed near Cape Newinam in western Alaska. The Cessna 441, carrying 2 pilots and 6 passengers, crashed Thursday near its destination. Search teams confirmed there were no survivors. The flight was operated by Security Aviation. Also, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says 2 of its employees were among those killed. The cause of the crash remains unknown. The NTSB will lead the investigation with assistance from the FAA. Ukraine's military intelligence says North Korea has sent another 8,500 personnel to Russia, including about 400 drone operators. The troops reportedly include engineers and sappers, with most stationed in Russia's Kursk region. Ukrainian officials say some drone operators have previous combat experience and could conduct reconnaissance or strikes against Ukraine. The reported deployment comes amid growing military cooperation between Russia and North Korea. And that's all for international news this evening. Stay tuned for the sports segment coming up next.
When all seemed lost, forest fell, courts went silent, but Dominica knows how to rise. From the earth, life returned, stronger, greener, resilient. Commerce returned, doors reopened. It's the courage of the people, the vast wonders of our island, the synergy, the resilience. Each point, each opponent, one battle at a time. Every serve is a challenge. Every rally is a battle. Every point earned. An island that learned to rise, now play to win. This is the Nature Isle Open Tennis Tournament, where resilience meets rivalry.
Welcome to the sports segment. The Dominica Athletics Association has opened applications for its 2026 Athletic Legacy Scholarship, offering EC $1,000 to a promising student athlete with demonstrated financial need. Applicants must be Dominican citizens enrolled in secondary school and have competed in at least 3 athletic competitions during the 2025-2026 season. Applications are available online through the association's social media pages or at the Dominica Olympic Committee office. The deadline is September 4, 2026. Mao Soccer Strikers FC collected another important 3 points on Thursday night with a convincing 3-0 victory over Bath Estate FC at the DFA Technical Center. The Mario Challenger led the way for the Soca Strikers, finding the back of the net twice, while Michael Hector added the other goal to complete the victory. The result strengthens Mao Soca Strikers' position near the top of the DFA Premier League standings as the competition continues. Challenger's 2-goal performance earned him the Man of the Match award, following an impressive showing in his team's victory. Mao Soca Strikers will be hoping to maintain their strong form as they continue their push in the Premier League. And that's all for the sports segment this evening. Stay tuned for the weather report coming up next.
Good day to you. This is the weather broadcast from the Met Studio at Jimin for today, Friday, August 21st, 2026. We're starting off today with our satellite imagery. And across the tropics, we find 3 tropical waves, that is, those lines in red. Presently, the tropical wave is affecting the islands to the south of the Lesser Antilles, that is from St. Lucia southwards. The second is located near 52 degrees west, and this wave is expected to move across the Lesser Antilles, bringing some scattered showers Saturday night into Sunday. Meanwhile, the third, located near 37 degrees west, is expected to move across the Lesser Antilles on Monday. However, most of the moisture associated with this wave is expected to linger or trail this wave and bring some scattered showers from Monday night into Tuesday across the Lesser Antilles. Meanwhile, across Dominica and the islands to the north today, as we can see, just some shallow clouds moving across the area, less cloudiness as the surface-rich pattern is dominant across the area today. However, we observe just to the east, this low-level trough is expected to bring a few showers across the area as it moves across overnight tonight. So zooming in closer to home today, skies have been generally fair in western communities throughout the day so far. It's a very dry, warm day. Meanwhile, mostly cloudiness is being observed across eastern communities as some shallow, low-level clouds move through the area. However, as we move on to our radar imagery, we'll see that it indicated just a few morning showers, and this dried up, becoming more isolated as the day progressed, and mainly in eastern communities. On the outside, we are observing some slight Saharan dust resulting in good to fair air quality. We expect Saharan dust concentrations to fluctuate throughout the weekend, so those of you who are unusually sensitive to dust do continue to take precautions to avoid complications. So our forecast for tonight, as I indicated, a low-level trough is expected to move across the area, resulting in partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies with some late-night scattered showers in some communities. Our temperatures are expected to be down to about 25 degrees Celsius in coastal communities and 22 degrees Celsius in the interior. So looking ahead throughout the weekend and into Monday, tomorrow is Saturday, we expect conditions during the day to be relatively dry, occasional cloudiness with just a few brief showers. We expect this to increase overnight as the second tropical wave moves across the Lesser Antilles, resulting in some scattered showers into Sunday morning. Thereafter, conditions are expected to dry up a bit as Sunday morning the day progresses into Tuesday, resulting in occasionally cloudy skies with just a few showers. Increasing moisture, as I indicated, expected overnight Monday and into Tuesday. Throughout the weekend, temperatures are expected to remain relatively warm, with our daytime temperatures picking up to about 33 degrees Celsius and down to about 24-25 degrees Celsius at nights. Winds expected out of the east-northeast through east-southeast near about 30 kilometers per hour. Presently, seas on the east coast are around 7 feet, and we do expect this to gradually improve overnight, peaking to about 5 feet by tomorrow. This is expected to linger into Sunday. Therefore, over the weekend, you can expect very, very favorable conditions for extracurricular marine activities. And the conditions are expected to peak, or waves expected to peak or increase slightly on Monday, peaking to near 7 feet along the eastern coast. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:51 a.m. and will set at 6:25 p.m. The first high tide tomorrow will be at 1:20 p.m. and the first low tide at 6:15 a.m. Do remember to continue to plan and to prepare, stay informed as we move through this hurricane season. For updated information, you can join us in our WhatsApp channel or visit our Facebook or Instagram platforms at Dominica Met. Thank you for joining us today. Do have an enjoyable weekend. Stay hydrated. Until next time.
And this concludes tonight's news broadcast for the 21st of August, 2026. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and on behalf of the entire newscast, we say thank you for viewing. This is Emo Nightly News, every moment online. Have a good weekend.